Hi, everyone. I see participants joining us. We are so excited to be here with you all. So excited about our Portraits of Collaboration virtual book launch. And as you can see, we have many of our contributing authors here today, and just a big group of people with us live, and we want to welcome you all. Those of you that are going to watch and replay, we're welcoming you as well. A few logistics, just really quick, because we have lots to share with you and to celebrate. Please dialogue with us in the chat, dialogue with one another as well. The recording of this version of the book launch will be uploaded to the Sidelets YouTube page after the live launch. I'm Valentina Gonzalez, and I'm happy to MC this book launch with you all. Let me tell you a little bit about kind of the agenda or the lay of the land for our virtual book launch. We are going to just tell you a lot about how this book was born, the idea, and how it came to be the amazing, unique book resource that it is. And then each contributing author is going to share a sneak peek of their chapter. So I'm really excited to hear from the authors. And then we are also going to have some door prizes, raffle off a few books, and share a few giveaways as well with you all. So sit back, relax, enjoy, chat away with us. We want to hear what you have to say, and share on Twitter. We have a hashtag for this book also, and if one of you panelists will drop that in the chat, it's Portraits of Collab. And we'd love for you to share some of the snapshots from our book launch, share some of the words you hear from our contributing authors as well. Let's build a community around this awesome book. And with that said, I'm going to toss it over to our amazing editors, Andrea and Maria.
Thank you so much, Valentina, for the wonderful first few moments of this launch. I think we have to start by troubleshooting. I think we have a little bit of an issue with the chat feature. We're getting some comments that the chat is disabled. So I wonder why Maria and I chat about the book. Somebody in the background could adjust the Zoom feature to make sure that our participants can engage with us. The Q&A feature seems to be working really well. So I see that there are posts coming in there. So I'm Andrea, and I'm here with Maria. And
hi, everyone.
We're so very excited to be able to launch this book that has been in the working for a very, very long time. But before we even share anything about the book, please allow me to say a huge thank you to John Seidlitz, who is also here with us, the entire Seidlitz team. We have Anna Mattis and, of course, Valentina here with us, and Carol Salva as well, and many others who worked in the background to make sure that this book is going to become a reality. Thank you. So Maria, do you want to share a little bit about the history of this? How did this came about? How did we bring all these people? The map already flashed for a moment for you to see how many different states and countries are represented in this volume.
Well, we've been talking about this topic for a very long time and gathering stories of teachers who negotiated how to build their partnerships and become successful collaborators and co-teachers. So little by little, as we began to talk about what this book might be, and I have to say in the beginning, I was a little resistant. We used this this title, Portraits of Collaboration, in some of our keynote addresses and some of our workshops, where we really portrayed many of the teachers who are in the field and really bringing authenticity to our own work. But I think that this book was really Andrea's brainchild. she had this vision of what she wanted this book to be. And I got very excited when I realized that the book was just not going to be the authentic stories, which in and of themselves are fabulous. What we decided was to make sure there was a framework for each chapter so that our authors could share their high impact strategies, which makes this volume extremely practical for those who are collaborating as well as co-teaching.
So we wanted to celebrate all of our amazing authors, and you'll get to see on the next slide where they come from, different parts of the United States. We have Canada, British Columbia represented. Katie is just texting me this moment that she's leaving school. She's still working, so she's unable to be here in person, but hopefully she will get to join this webinar very soon. We have the Midwest and the Texas region, North Carolina, the Northeast. So you see, we made a round around the United States. And then we have international representation from Europe and Asia as well. I'm not going to go author by author right now because you're going to hear from all of our authors who contributed to this book. They're going to be sharing in a couple of minutes their contributions to the volume, and you can hear about their passion for collaboration firsthand from them. But
That's me.
Carol, yes.
I just want to say, just take just a moment to thank you, Andrea and Maria, and everyone in here for allowing me to be a part of it. I had the extreme honor of writing the foreword, and it gave me the opportunity to reflect on how I am where I am because of collaboration. And it was such an honor for me to be able to name some people at the very beginning of when I became a teacher up until the last, a student teacher who was one of my best collaborators. And so thank you for letting me write the foreword. This is such an exciting, important resource. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, the honor was all ours. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Let's move on to our first chapter in the book.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is John Cox. I am 1/3 of the Ready, Set, Co-Teach team based in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And I'm Allison Caudle. I am a 2/3 of the Ready, Set, Co-Teach team from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Ashley is our 3rd. So John and I will kind of tag team to just talk a little bit about this. We've been so fortunate, first of all, to be a part of this with all these wonderful collaborators. We're just really honored to be in this company. But we have been co-teaching together for 6 years. And so our chapter basically is just that story, the story of growth, the story of how we came together, how we grew together, and how we help students succeed together.
Yeah, we're couched in kind of an interesting collaborative dynamic where we kind of function as a triad with Ashley and I at times worked on separate grade levels, but recently we worked together on the same grade level. Ashley taught the students, she was the content teacher for reading and I was the content teacher for math, and Allison kind of floated in between both classrooms. And there's been a lot of lessons learned over the years, and our collaboration has grown as we have grown as people.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for the opportunity, and we hope you all love the 6 elements of successful content language integration.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking with it for so long, and also your willingness to share your success story with us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Schmidt, and I co-authored the chapter 2, which is Pushing the Boundaries of Collaboration. My co-teacher, Carmen O'Brien, was not able to make it today, so I'll speak for both of us. But we We co-taught 7th grade ELA in Greenville, Wisconsin for 3 years. Before we became co-teaching partners, I was the EL teacher at the school, the middle school, and Carmen was the 7th grade ELA teacher. So we worked together a little bit. And when that other classroom role opened up, I jumped at it because it was a very unique opportunity. Our 2 classrooms shared a retractable wall, and we opened that up and spent every single day for those 3 years as a co-taught joined classroom. So our chapter is all about how we pushed the boundaries of traditional co-teaching in many different ways. So we pushed the boundaries on numbers of students. We were co-teaching 50 to 60 7th grade students at a time. We pushed the boundaries on a lot of our colleagues' beliefs on co-teaching. We heard all the time, this isn't co-teaching because it's not the traditional co-teaching environment that everyone is used to. But we pushed everyone's thinking about it, and we did get that backlash a lot, but we brought our data towards the center of all conversations, and we were seeing growth and we were seeing excitement in our classroom, and it was the most joyous experience I've ever had as an educator. And it really pushed the boundaries of our teaching as well, and it truly made me who I am as a teacher, as an educator. And now the past 2 years, I stepped out of the teaching role and I'm an administrator now. It shaped how I lead now in my current district. So I'm just so grateful for the opportunity I had co-teaching with Carmen. And I just have so much passion about what we're all doing here. And I'm so glad that you are able to see our story, and I hope that you enjoy it. And thank you everyone at Sidelets for bringing our story alive.
Thank you, Brittany. We love this. We love the picture, the PB&J. It speaks volumes about your collaboration. Thank you for sharing. And Lindsay and Jane are not able to be with us, so we have a video that we're going to play for them. So let's see if we can get this video to play.
Hi, I'm Jane Falese. And I'm Lindsay Manzella, and we're both middle school EAL teachers in international schools. Our chapter is called Building Teacher Capacity to Support ELs, Consult, Collaborate, Coach. So our chapter is about a solution to a problem that we were struggling with. We were finding that despite having an established culture of collaboration and co-teaching in our middle school, the problem that we were encountering was that, as with most EAL teachers, we found that we still struggled with having enough time. So of course, we couldn't provide support in every core class or co-teach with every core teacher. And we noticed that our students did noticeably better when we were in the room, but struggled in classes when we were not. So the solution to our problem came a few years ago when we took a course on instructional coaching and realized that many of the coaching strategies we were learning were actually applicable to our work with teachers. We thought that if we could approach EAL support through a coaching model, we could solve the problem of not being able to be with our students all day, every day. In our chapter, we talk about how we use coaching lens to build capacity in teachers to better support language learners in all of their classes, whether we are there in the room co-teaching the lesson or not. So in the chapter, we've included some tools and strategies that we think any EAL teacher can use, no matter their teaching context, to help them reach all students in their context and have a more lasting impact. One of the benefits that we've really noticed with this coaching approach is that by building teacher capacity, teachers are empowered to then continue to use the strategies and tools on their own and year after year, giving us a greater impact, greater reach in impacting student learning, and in a way freeing up our time to work with other classes and other teachers. So we hope that by sharing what we've been doing in this chapter, other teachers will be able to try a similar approach in their own teaching contexts to have a wider impact on student learning by building capacity in their own teachers.
So we hope you find it useful.
And I really think you will find it useful. Their coaching model, Consult, Collaborate, Coach, is amazing. Check out their chapter for sure. And now let's hear from Jackie and Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Just, a co-author on Authentic Co-Assessment.
And I'm Jackie Griffin. Hi, everybody. We wrote about authentic co-assessment, and this was a passion of Stephanie and mine. We really wanted to dig in deeper about how to truly assess students to really know and understand what they know in that moment in order to make good instructional decisions. So when we unpacked co-assessing, we looked at designing different assessment tools, which includes collaborating around these assessment tools. We looked at tracking student data and then continuously analyzing the student data to make sense of what students can do and what they need support in at that moment. So in the district that both of us used to work in, we functioned as a professional learning community, and it really inspired us to think about the 4 critical questions as we did this work. And the first one is to look at what do we want students to know and be able to do. So first we have to get clear on what are we expecting for students? What is the standard? What is the target? And then once we have that clear, we can jump into, well, how do we know if they got it? What is the assessment that we're going to give to show us what they know? From there, we think about 2 different things. How are we going to intervene with students who didn't get it the first time around? And then how are we going to extend students who already got it, even probably at your pre-assessment before you even start teaching? So we like to think about those 4 critical questions. And if I go back to the first question, it's not only academically, but linguistically, what do students know and what are they able to do? One of the high impact strategies that really gives opportunities to assess this is looking at swirl. We have a lot of different types of assessments in our chapter, but when we look at swirl, the speaking, writing, interacting, reading and listening, that gives so many different opportunities in the classroom to assess not only academically, but linguistically as well.
Thank you so much, Jackie and Stephanie. This is a really great chapter, especially on assessments and how we can design lessons that support our students. And we love the swirl, absolutely. All right, and our next chapter is from Dr. Katie Topple, who is not here with us today.
So I actually pulled up the conclusion that Katie had to her chapter, and let's just read that short paragraph because it sums it up, how practical Katie's ideas are to cultivate collaboration with multiple teams. This is what Katie has to say about that. Collaboration between a language specialist and multiple grade level or content area teams may seem daunting and challenging to navigate, but it doesn't have to be. Teaming becomes more manageable when systems are in place to maximize long-term content planning, assign co-planning responsibilities, and align key components of lesson preparation. When teams develop successful systems and routines, the process of collaborating can be smooth and efficient with a sustained effort to merge content and language instruction for all students. We absolutely loved having Katie's chapter included here because many educators, you could share that in the chat box with us, face a similar challenge of having not just one solid co-teaching partnership or team, but multiple grade levels, multiple colleagues that you have to work with.
Thank you for sharing that, Andrea. And absolutely right. I mean, many of us work with multiple teams, and this chapter, as in many of the other chapters, is so important for us, and we can learn so much from Katie's work. Thank you. Let's hear from Michelle.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just looking at all the faces. I must say I'm thrilled. So thank you for having me. My chapter is all about amplifying teacher and student voice with technology. So I'm part of, hi Sherry's here. I work in Canada, Abbotsford, BC, and I'm part of the curriculum department here. Within our curriculum department, we have many amazing facets. So we have early learning, LSS, technology, and as great as we are, we realized we're all different departments and we're siloed out. So we really wanted to start working on how can we work as a unit to support all the kids in our schools, right? So teachers aren't feeling pulled apart and just burnt out at the end of the day. So we decided on a sort of 3-year plan, and our goal was collaborative professional development. We really wanted to look at addressing the idea that we're all teachers of English learners, of multilingual learners. So with the 4 key phrases that we kept in our minds of advocacy, equity, empowerment, and teamwork, we decided to focus on different ways we could encourage collaboration amongst teachers and students using some very powerful technology. And it was really such an amazing and exciting journey to hear the stories teachers share, to hear the stories that our language learners are sharing. And I really want to express that sharing, because they were the quiet ones in the class. We weren't hearing their voices, but when we gave them a platform that they were comfortable with to express these wonderful ideas, I mean, we all just flourished. So I'm super proud of this chapter and this book, and I hope you all enjoy.
I love this chapter also. I just love them all. I don't know which one I love more. Such a great chapter. Thank you for sharing it with us, Michelle. We're honored by it. And Sarah and Tan.
Hi, everyone, and thank you. It was a real privilege to work on this book and to collaborate with Tan. My name is Sarah, and I'm based in China at the moment.
Swasadai, and I'm Tan from right now calling you from all the way Cambodia. I'll let Sarah start with the book, and then I'll end with our chapter as well.
Great, thanks, Tan. So Tan and I actually worked together while we were in Vietnam, and we had the privilege of working together on a grade 5 team. And so in this chapter, Tan and I share our journey about developing that collaborative relationship, which we not only benefited from, but it really impacted our students in many, many positive ways. And so one of the things we looked at when we were brainstorming ideas about this chapter is oftentimes when you see strong partnerships, people see the outcome and they see the product, but what they don't see is the really deep, gritty work that goes in behind the scenes. That's all about that building of the positive relationship that allows for you to see the successes that are the outward things. So in our chapter, we seek to provide a lot of tangible strategies on how to build strong relationships with your colleagues and your co-teachers. There are 3 key things that we really wanted to hit on in our chapter. And the first one was taking time to really intentionally understand each other's values. We felt like this, by taking time to unpack our values, we can really better understand each other's priorities and your motivations. And so we dive into that a little bit. The second strategy that we want to leave people with is identifying and building on each other's professional strengths. Some of the greatest learning I had while at my time in Vietnam was by collaborating with Tan, an amazing, amazing opportunity to learn side by side with him. And so we build out on that thought process as well. What if we were actually to take time and really learn from one another? How much greater can we really be? And lastly, the third strategy that we talk about is taking an affirming approach. When we seek to understand, we're open to being vulnerable with one another, and we're willing to put our ego and ourselves to the side. There is no limit in what we can do, and what an amazing impact that has on our kids.
We also took the opportunity in this chapter to poke at Tuckman's form, storm, norm, and perform model of relationship building. We said, wait, why do we have to storm? Sarah and I never stormed together. We actually bonded through our being first-year teachers at a tumultuous time in our experience. So we provided a new model. We said, okay, why don't we form But then why don't we earn each other's trust through small conversations? Sarah and I are early birds. So we would come to the school early and we would just spend time talking like, hey, how are you doing? How's your husband doing? Like, how have you been finding the city? And then, so this was earning our relationships. And then when we trusted each other, we actually nurtured our relationship. So every time Sarah had an idea, I always figured out a way to say, yes, let's do that. And if you want to see a teacher that integrates read out loud, go to Sarah's class. So she's a fabulous teacher, and it's been wonderful to not just apply reading strategies of collaboration, but actually show how relationship building is the foundation of collaboration. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I love the way you speak about one another in such a positive light. And this chapter, you can hear, well, I hear it because when I read it aloud, I hear your voices. You can hear that you're truly speaking your truth. And so with that said, let me tell you a little bit about the chapter that I contributed, which is a chapter about cultivating relationships with reluctant teachers. And I'm truly honored to be part of this resource, this book that will make a lasting impact, I believe, on educators worldwide for years to come. And you know, collaboration as we know it is not always roses and butterflies. With good intentions, some of us try to collaborate with colleagues, and we're not always met with the agreement that we desire. Not everyone is willing and ready to collaborate the way we might imagine collaborating. And so this chapter is about collaborating with teachers that might be reluctant or resistant at first with collaboration. Collaboration is not comfortable for everyone. In fact, for many teachers, collaboration feels strange. It feels funny, especially if they've spent years teaching or planning alone and in silos. I can distinctly remember my first couple of years as a teacher, a classroom teacher. I remember the ESL teacher coming to take a few of my students every day from my classroom, and I had no idea where she took them or what she did with them. And then she would return these kids to me, and I had no clue what they did while they were gone. Nor did she know what they were doing in my classroom. We were very disconnected. In this chapter, I share ways that we can initiate and cultivate collaborative practices with educators who might be resistant at first. This section also includes a blueprint for success in collaboration with reluctant teachers, and practical small ways to engage colleagues in collaborative practices, such as just listening more and talking a little bit less, aiming for parity with one another, and promoting inclusion for our English learners and our multilingual learners. I really pull from my own experiences as a classroom teacher and as a teacher of multilingual learners, because I know that these experiences that we have working with others, co-teaching, co-planning, collaborating in various ways, we learn so much from one another. My years as a co-teacher and an ESL teacher were the years I grew the most. And so thank you for letting me contribute this chapter. And now we're on to the final chapter in the book. So Christina, Andrea, and Maria.
Okay, well, I'll just jump in and say that I was very excited to be asked to be part of the wonderful team of Andrea and Maria. And I had the opportunity to review all the data and the things that the teachers had said in previous chapters and kind of do a summary of like, well, what does this look like after the pandemic? It didn't seem like we could just ignore that whole big thing that had been going on. And I think one of the things that really touched my heart as I read all of these different strategies and the different things teachers did is how creative and smart they were in making this work continue during the pandemic. And in some ways, it almost worked better. And so I just was really honored to be able to share this kind of summary of what they all said in their amazing chapters, because it just brought home to me that there is no excuse to not do this. If you trust others, if you want this to happen, it will happen because teachers are smart and creative. So I really, really enjoyed working with you all on this.
And this last chapter wasn't even supposed to be part of the book. The book was supposed to come out in the summer of 2020, but you all know what happened the spring and summer of 2020, when this book just had to be put on the back burner. We had to rethink what our priorities are, and we were all in survival mode. So then Christina actually happened to be my doctoral student, an intern, and she needed an internship project. And then we thought, well, here is the absolute most perfect internship project for her, since Maria and I can revisit the entire book through the lens of how collaboration sustained us, how teacher collaboration, finding meaningful personal and professional connections with each other sustained us during the most difficult times during the pandemic. And then that's how Christina was brought into this project. And Maria, I'm going to pass it back on to you, because we had this opportunity to just bring everything together in this final chapter. And you had some really wonderful ideas about it too.
Well, I was just very happy the way this chapter came together, really thanking Christina for her fabulous work with our authors, and to really bring it all together and really identifying these major themes that ran throughout the book. So I think it brought it all together. So thank both of you for this wonderful chapter as it unfolded.
Thank you.
Well, let me tell you a little bit more about the book, training and resources. You can find this book on sideletseducation.com or on Amazon. So the book is out there already. I've provided you with a QR code to access the book if you'd like to purchase it. We are going to be raffling away a couple of copies today also, so we're excited about that. We also will be providing trainings for the book up and coming. So you can look on at sideletseducation.com to see those up and coming trainings for the book. If you're interested in bringing Sidelets Education to your campus or district to train teachers on collaborative tools, we'll be training using this book. And I also want to give you a link to the Portraits of Collaboration website. This is hot off the press, like literally hot off the press. So I'm going to drop the link to the site into our chat. I think I put it in there right now. I think I dropped it twice. There it is. It is hot off the press, and I hope you enjoy it. It has resources as well, information about the chapters. Feel free to share the link to the site as well. That's in there for you in the chat. So
I just wanted to say real quick, Valentina, just thank all of the authors for contributing and for being patient with us all through this adventure through COVID, figuring out how we wanted to rethink and adjust and adding the extra chapter. It turned out beautiful and wonderful practical resource that I think all of the educators that we all work with are going to love, because everybody's collaborating. There's nobody who's teaching, whether they know it or not. We're not teaching English learners in silos. And the variety of contexts which were shown, it broadened my thinking on collaboration. Anna and I talked about that I went from thinking of a book on co-teaching to the real complex world that we all live in. So thank you guys for contributing to this and making it the beautiful book that it finally became.
Absolutely. And we're so grateful to you, John, for seeing this vision through and helping us to make it happen. There's still more. We still have more to share with you. So Andrea and Maria are going to share some upcoming events as well.
Yes, I'm very excited that I will be presenting actually with Valentina and some other people as well. But Valentina and I have 2 sessions at the upcoming WIDA conference. I'm invited to be one of the keynote speakers at the Southeast TESOL conference, and then coming to Houston. So excited to see the Silence team in person again. I will be presenting, and Carol is right there on that flyer as well, and John too, at the TESOL State Conference in Houston in just about 2 months or so.
And I will be doing a keynote in Colorado TESOL, and Portraits of Collaboration is one of the books they wanted to hear about. So that will be featured at my keynote address. And that's in November, I think 12th, 11th and 12th is the Colorado TESOL.
Amazing, amazing. Such exciting events. So we have a question for you all in the chat. We'd like for you to take a look at this visual on the screen and fill in the blanks. Fill in the sentence stem. Collaborating is like, and select one of the images and then complete the sentence stem, because collaborating is like, we've got a few different images here. So we've got like a dance, holding hands, a bridge, making food or dinner, team. Collaborating is like blank because. And go ahead and type in the chat. Let's see some different responses here. Sherry says collaborating is like a salad. Oops, it scrolled too fast. I didn't catch the end of what she said. Because variety is the spice of life. I like it. Glenda says collaborating is like a dance because learning is dynamic. Love it. I love it. Collaborating is like a bridge because it connects people and ideas. Carly says, collaborating is like a dance because it takes 2 or more to tango. Love these. Wow, some really great ideas. And even if you choose the same picture, you might have a different way of explaining what collaboration is like. Wow. Collaborating is like cooking because there are so many ingredients that come together through a final entree to bring people to the table to break bread. Beautiful ideas, beautiful. So keep typing in those analogies. We want to hear more about what your idea of collaborating is like. And we are going to give our giveaways now. So the first giveaway we have for you is a free digital download of the lesson planning toolkit, lesson planning tool that's in one of the chapters of our book. And I'm going to drop that link into the chat for you. And you can just save this and it will be yours to keep. And this is a free digital download from the book itself. So there it is in the chat for you. That is yours to keep and hold on to. And we are going to raffle off 2 of our books now. And so I'm going to go ahead and get our 2 names from the raffle. You have to be present to win. You have to be here. And so we've got our raffle in now, and our 2 winners, drum roll please, are Glenda Harrell. I hear the drum roll. Glenda Harrell is our first winner. Glenda, if you will message me in the chat privately, I will make sure you get your copy of the book. I will need your address, where you want the book sent to. And Aphrodite Della Porta. Woo! 2 amazing winners. We're so excited for you. So Aphrodite and Glenda, please message me direct in the chat. If you'll just hover over the chat feature and send me a message with where you would like these books sent to. I need your full name also as well. Thank you for that. Absolutely. We're so excited to get those books to you. We want to thank you for your time, for being here with us today, for sharing in our excitement, for spreading the word about Portraits of Collaboration. And we are so excited to be among your community and learning together. I'm going to hand it over to Maria and Andrea as we end our book launch. Would you like to say any final words, ladies?
Well, a huge thank you to you, Valentina, for the amount of work and effort and love and heart that you put into this presentation, into our website, into taking this book on the road to offer a professional learning opportunities on it, and for emceeing today's session. So thank you, Valentina, from the bottom of my heart. And also, of course, thank you to the entire team, the Sidelitz team and the chapter contributing author team. It's wonderful to see all of you together in a Zoom room like this. And hopefully one day we might just be together face to face as well.
Valentina, I'd like to thank you also. It was absolutely a fabulous presentation. You've done so much work for us, and to really get this book launched. And we so appreciate it. So thank you for all your hard work and the whole Sidelitz team. This has been such a wonderful experience as an editor working with Andrea, with the team at Sidelitz, and the publication is just such a beautiful, beautiful volume. So I'm just very appreciative of all the hard work that went into it. Thank you all.
And a big public acknowledgement to my partner here, Maria. We have been at it now for over a decade and we're not done yet, but this is just such a wonderful culmination of our collaboration because we're able to include so many voices, so many experiences. So thank you to every single chapter contributor one more time.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Anna. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.